when you get into this GLC coupe, the first thing you'll notice is this 12.3-inch screen, which sits nicely here. Quite large actually, because a lot of driver instrument panels are now quite small. Then you get this 11.9-inch screen here, which is more like an iPad. Like we mentioned, it's it's not the hyper screen which you see in a lot of electric and the larger Mercedes-Benz sedans. So I kind of like it because I think when the screens are too big, you get distracted a bit. But one man's fish is another man's meat. Some people like it. I'm not a big fan of large, intimidating screens. I think this is large enough and clear enough. And I'll show it to you right now when we start up. You get the aircon vents up here. I like the fact that the aircon vents are up here because you get better airflow to the rear and also to us, in front here when it's a really hot day, because we are in Malaysia and it gets really, really hot. Nice material fit and finish, of course, because it's AMG. Everything you touch and feel is nice. Burmeister sound system with nice metal finish on the cover. This is a very premium looking finish. You just have to twist this to close the air vents. They look great. They are lit up on the inside. That's really nice. That's part of the mood lighting feature, which you can change. There's so many variations here. So I'm going to start up the engine. Watch it. That's how it starts up. Beautiful, well lit, clear screen. Not in your face in terms of its brightness. I like the way it's presented. This sits right inside the steering wheel. Now, as you can see, this is the AMG steering wheel because it's twin spoke. Touchscreen here, paddle shifters here. You got that, the latest stock controls, with a little insert here. I like this twin spoke AMG steering wheel. Yes, it's flat bottom. I like the thick feel of it, real sporty feel. But the soft touch panels, they do nearly everything for you, in one go. And then you've got the choice of your viewing, your themes as such. Mercedes gives you so many choices. You can choose whatever you want and more. You got to play around with it, to get exactly what you want. This screen, of course, have got a lot of functions in it. Everything is there, just like in other Mercedes-Benz. Nothing is lacking. You can even see your battery and everything else. Carbon fiber finish, where possible. It's better than having like a piano finish, because the piano finish gets smudged easily with oily fingers or slightly dirty fingers. This way you don't see that, so it always looks nice, clean, and really, really, premium. That's the way of looking at it. You got a sunroof. You got a nice cover for it. It's a glass panoramic roof, but the fact that you got a cover means you reject a lot of heat, which is needed in our part of the world. You got these beautiful seats. They are not full AMG race seats, but they are comfy enough. You sit in it, holds your torso just nice. I'm a bit wide, so it holds me really nicely. I have to come back to the Burmeister sound system. Sounds great, especially in a smaller cabin like this. You got to go into a showroom and try it out. Like, we can't show it to you in the video. You got a nice area here. You got two cup holders with variable size possibilities. You have phone charging inside here, nice and secure. You got your charging points here, two charging points here, two at the back. You open here, you got another two here. Nice compartment here with a little shelf here. Glove box, reasonably sized and nicely lined with a nice cloth material, which means whatever you put inside will not get scratched. That's number one. Number two, it won't be making noise as it shakes around in there. This is a nice little piano finish panel here to operate your lights and your panoramic roof cover. Yep, it's a premium Mercedes-Benz cabin. So let's take a look on the outside of the vehicle. We haven't driven a Mercedes-Benz for quite a bit. Not that we're not getting the cars, it's just that Mercedes-Benz has been a little bit quiet in the past few months. They have launched cars, but they've launched very special vehicles, very high-end vehicles, which sadly sell out even before they get into our hands for a review. That's how popular the high-end vehicles are. So this is the GLC 350e Coupe 4MATIC. It's a premium Mercedes-Benz. It's an AMG model, and here's a surprising bit. Let me show you. Yes, coupe-like profile. That's not a surprising bit. Large wheels. That's not a surprising bit. SUV-like stance. That's not a surprising bit. Come closer. Surprising bit is there's a charging port for the battery system. You can see here clearly, charging port for the battery system. But as we go to the back and come around the other side, there's also petrol power. Yes, this is a plug-in hybrid Mercedes-Benz. Plug-in hybrid means you got a petrol engine, 2-liter from AMG, and you got this battery system to assist in giving you about 100 kilometers of city driving on electric power alone, which means battery power. So if it's charged up, if you got it plugged in and charged, you can go about 100 odd kilometers in city traffic without using any petrol. And if you need to go over state, that means interstate, outstation or whatever, you still got the easy advantage of fueling up easily without worrying about charging stations. So as you can clearly see, this is a SUV, a coupe, a crossover, all rolled into one. Because why? You got that high riding stance, you got that, once you have this, you know that it's got that SUV stance, but it's a coupe-like profile, very small greenhouse, which means it's got very, very sporting intentions. And having sporting intentions means it's got a lot of power. If you look closely at this vehicle, even though it's got that crossover SUV kind of vibe, they have color-coded arches. Now, why I say color-coded means, what I'm trying to say is, normally when vehicles like this come out, this one will be black. The arches will be black to give it that whole, off-road vehicle kind of image. But this one doesn't have it. So, in fact, Mercedes is saying it's a sports coupe, but it's got that added height, you might say. Because why? Some people want something that sits a little bit higher, or they want to be thinking that I'm in an SUV, yet I want a sporty vehicle. Come in front, and you'll notice how you got this air intake here. You got those typical Mercedes headlamps. You got that big grille. You got that AMG look here, the honeycomb treatment with the little star here showing at each level. Nice chrome trim here. And that gives you that whole AMG kind of feel. If you actually look at it from this angle, you go down a little bit, you'll think, hey, this is actually a handsome looking sports coupe, not really a SUV or crossover. And come closer. See, even the detailing is right here. Here. So there's a lot of elements that says that this car is a very, very special vehicle. So now it's time for us to take it for a test drive and show you what it's like inside this Mercedes GLC coupe plug-in hybrid. We are in a new Mercedes-Benz electrified model. Now let me emphasize the word electrified. This is not an electric vehicle. Now the word electrified can carry a few segments.
More context or clarify what you mean by electrified model money. This will help me assist you better.
See, this is what's happening right now with all the new cars from this brand. I have to be careful what I say, because why? They talk back to you. Whenever you mention the brand name, they talk back to you. So you just heard it. Anyway, that's all for driver assistance, navigation, and using the controls. What's important now is see how fast she reacts. Anyway, so this brand has got, of course, AMG. AMG is their performance division. So they've got this vehicle that is electrified. And what do we mean by electrified? It doesn't mean...
Caution. School nearby in 100 meters.
See, safety feature. What it means is it's got a battery system assisting the petrol-powered engine. Now, that is very useful today in reducing your fuel consumption, especially in big, powerful vehicles like this. So, this brand, you know the brand, I don't want to mention it because she will start talking, has been playing with electrified vehicles for some time. They have all electric, you know, which is the EQ series, but this is a petrol-powered 2-liter with battery assist. So that is why it's called electrified. It's a plug-in hybrid. Now this brand has been doing plug-in hybrids for quite some time right now. They've got it down to a T. They know how to work the technology. They know how to work with the battery management system, software, cooling, everything else. All that's left is to deliver power to the driver owner. So this is the GLC Coupe 350E. E means electrified. And it's basically the GLC in a coupe-like profile. Now, you've seen the GLC on the road, selling very well. They've got a few variants, but this is the coupe. The coupe was launched late last year for 425,000 ringgit. I know your eyebrows are moving upwards and your mouth is opening and going, oh, why so expensive? Well, we've all been spoiled recently with the tax-free electric car movement. Because why? Electric cars, as you know, are tax-free for now. We don't know when that, holiday period will end. So because electric cars are tax-free, whenever you get into a petrol-powered car that pays full tax, and in Malaysia, import duty for cars are really high, people frown and say, why is it so expensive? So the reason for it is tax. So put that aside, because there will be some people who want a petrol-powered vehicle, but they want electrified for added power and also better fuel consumption. So let's go further into this electrified vehicle. 313 horsepower, 550 Newton meters of torque. 313 horsepower, that's a lot already, but 550 Newton meters of torque coming from a 2-liter turbo petrol engine. That's a lot of power because you got the battery to assist. The 0 to 100 in this 2-ton vehicle, it's a big vehicle actually. I mean, its heft is there. Riding on 21-inch wheels, we will do the walk around earlier. We did the walk around earlier, so you know what I'm talking about. It's a big vehicle. It's muscular. It's got all the elements to say, hey, look at me. 2.2 tons. So to move that 2.2 tons, you need quite a bit of power. So you still got a lot of power, 6.7 seconds, top speed 220 kilometers an hour. Restrictive top speed because why?
Caution. School nearby in 100 meters.
How far are you going to go? How fast are you going to go? Right? So we are going to take this car in a city drive to show you how viable it is as a daily commuter car for someone who just wants something a little bit special, something that looks great, and it also works as a long distance runner, which means on the highway you can really enjoy the power delivery of this car. So right there on the right hand side you can see the lesser version of this GLC coupe, which is the GLC non-coupe like lah. It's a SUV. It's a little bit more upright, a little bit more taller. Doesn't have that much. Doesn't have as much muscular intentions in the rear shape as this vehicle, but it's still a good-looking vehicle. You see so many on the road. You see a lot of people driving this as a daily commuter car. Sometimes you can see people sending their kids to school in this car. Some people use it as grocery run because they've got 5-6 cars at home. It's one of those Mercedes-benz vehicles that has become so popular as, I would say, run-of-the-mill C-Class. Last time it was a C-Class that, everyone moves up to. But since the GLC came around, this seems to be the, you know, how you say, the first entry point for a Mercedes-Benz owner, new owner. So this car has got a lot of functions that you will not find in a regular petrol-powered version, because this is a plug-in hybrid. So if you go to your dynamic mode, okay, to start off with, you can see this is activation of your driving mode. You can see now you got 68%, which means you can go 70 kilometers of electric driving range if you wanted to. You can choose any all-electric mode. You can choose a hybrid mode. Of course, sports, which means the battery will not come into play as often as possible, because why? You want to push the AMG power. Then you got individual setting. But see, they even put a word there, not with a roof load. That means if you put a roof rack on top, you shouldn't be doing that. So the moment you go into sports mode, the whole character of the engine changes. See, I'm just tapping the accelerator, and I'm doing it a little bit purposely so that you can feel that urgency in the engine. The throttle response changes. Look at that. Can you hear that? Even the exhaust note changes. Now, that feels like a A-class AMG. That's the kind of response we're getting. And this is from a 2-ton vehicle. So that shows you how powerful that combination works together with that AMG powerhouse. That is why people buy this car, because you get that nice big SUV-like coupe profile, yet you can drive it like a nimble A-class. Now, I didn't push it that hard because we're in city traffic, but I'm just trying to show you what more can be done with this vehicle. If you go into hybrid, of course, you're saving fuel. That's the whole idea of getting, plug-in hybrid when you're in the city, when you're driving in the city. If you go into navigation, you still got your radio showing there. So you got these physical buttons, which I like,
one of the reasons
which is easy for you to keep using the vehicle without, looking down all the time, because you can easily memorize these functions once you own the vehicle. You've got nice, big, clear driver instrument cluster here, and you've got this, infotainment cluster, infotainment screen. So instead of having the Mercedes hyper screen, Mercedes-Benz has put a more iPad-like screen here, which flows right down to the center console, where you got this carbon fiber-like look. Very stylish, very premium looking, and it should be, because this is a $425,000 ringgit vehicle. A little bit of a chance here to give it another. Heard that? And it still rides the bumps very well. Suspension setting is just beautifully sorted.